All right, so this is improper fractions. An improper fraction has a larger numerator than denominator. Example here is 5/4. And basically what this means is that we have 5 sets of 1/4. We have 5 1/4, quite literally, and that's what this numerator here means. Now, an improper fraction means that we've got more than one whole. If you look at 3/4, that's less than a whole. That falls between 0 and 1 on the number line. Now, this is more than a whole, so this is going to be bigger than 1. Now, the question is, how many wholes do we have? And so we look at our fourths here and we ask ourselves, okay, how many of these fourths do we need to create a whole? And the answer is 4 of them, because if we draw a whole and we know that we're in fourths, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them create a whole. So these 4/4 right here create this whole, and we ask ourselves what's left over. We have 1 whole and 1/4 left over. 1 whole and 1/4. So 5/4 equals 1 1/4. Let's do another example. Let's say we have 3 halves. We quite literally have 3 halves. And we ask ourselves, well, how many halves make a whole? And we say, all right, well, these 2 halves here create 1 whole. And how many are left over? 1/2. So 3 halves equals 1 1/2. Now, let's say you want to do the slightly shorter version of that. Let's say we have 6/5. Now, in the other way that we did it, that means that we organized our fifths and we had 6 of them. And we asked ourselves, all right, well, how many fifths to make a whole? 5. And what's left over? 1/5. So this is 1 1/5. Now, the other way that we can do it is we can ask ourselves, how many times does the denominator go into the numerator? It goes in 1 time, 1 whole. How many are left over after we divide this into this? Remainder 1, and we are dealing in fifths, so 6/5 equals 1 1/5. Let's try a different example. Let's say we have 10/3. We ask ourselves, how many times does 3 go into 10 without going over? 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 left over, and we're dealing with thirds. This will always be the same. We're dealing in thirds. This right here is the remainder. Okay, so this 1 is the remainder after we divided 10 into 3. Let's do one last one. And don't forget, you can pause it at any time if you need to. Let's try 7 halves. How many times does 2 go into 7? It goes in 3 times. Gets us to 6. With 1 left over, and we are in halves. So, I hope that helps you understand improper fractions to mixed numbers a little bit better.